Hello, it's Jill. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I'm here with a real treat today, a deep dive into some Greek philosophy and some theology and some inspirational revelation. Well, it is for me anyway. I'm inspired by it and I think you will be too. I've been looking forward to making this video and you'll notice that I'm in a different place today. It's half term, so the schools are off and I'm just limited by the rooms in the house I can use. So I've set up here a bit later getting started than I'd hoped, and it's busy right on lunchtime, so there might be noise from traffic outside. But anyway, I'm hoping that we won't be disturbed. And I've also asked my team, my spirit team of teachers and guides to be here and help, just because there's a lot to talk about and I feel a bit inadequate to remember everything, to explain it correctly, so I'm hoping that I'll get reminded or snagged if there's something I'm missing out or that I need to say in a certain way. So I've got some notes with me and I've prepared some things, and it was all going to be about Sophia, wisdom, Greek idea or a Gnostic idea of the divine feminine that I was going to be talking about. Wisdom is the central character of the Pistis Sophia. I have spoken about this before, a Gnostic or Coptic text from early Christianity, Egyptian Christianity. And then, and it's Mary. It talks about, interestingly actually, I've just been reminded, it's Mary that features as one of the disciples. So in the Western version of the Bible that we get, it's the 12 disciples, all men. And okay, we have Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, who are kind of peripheral figures, but not identified as the disciples, whereas Mary is one of the disciples and sits at Jesus' feet and is asking questions a lot, and he's her teacher. So we see a different version of Mary in the Pistis Sophia. So Mary is actually going to be one of the main characters. Mary and Sophia. Maybe I'll entitle the video Mary and Sophia. I don't know. But it was really down to Janet, who sent me a letter after the last video I made about vibrational entrainment, I think it was called. And her letter inspired me. So she said, "Hi Jill, I just watched your recent video and I've got permission to use this. I know that Janet's okay with it. Where you talked about coding. And if you haven't seen that video, I will just link it so that you can watch that if you're curious, so that this makes sense in the context of that. It made me think about this photo I pulled off the internet just yesterday, a video of the face of Mary." She says, "I can't really remember the title. It popped up as a suggestion and she watched it. They went through several paintings and icons of the Virgin Mary, and it was quite interesting." She says, "Towards the end, they came to the Advocata Nostra, which, if I remember correctly, is thought to be the oldest known icon of Mary. It's in the Dominican Church of Santa Maria del Rosario in Italy. Anyway, my reason for mentioning it is that of all the different icons I saw in that video, this one really stirs something in me that I can't explain. When I look at it, I just sort of get a kind of thrill or tingle of energy. Can't really describe it, and I don't even know why. But after watching your video and what you said about coding and how you don't have to understand it with your mind, but it's absorbed, that reminded me of how this image feels to me. I thought I'd share the picture with you to see if you felt anything from it. Maybe it's just a personal thing, or it reminds me of someone. I don't know. None of the other ones gave me this same feeling though. Being raised Protestant, I'm not even that familiar with Mary. She always seemed to belong to the Catholics to me." Okay, so that's Janet's message, and I know that you'll be wanting to see the picture. I'm going to show you it. I'm going to show you it in a moment. But one thing that I was just snagged to say, I'm going to put that there actually. Oh, I'm joined by our philosopher here. Thought that would be quite appropriate. I don't know who it is. It looks more Roman than Greek, but anyway, he looks like he's deep in thought. One thing that I was snug to just say then was that when we feel things, it's because we're moving into the light body. Those tingles that Janet described are the light, the soul. The soul. We're inhabiting the soul more than we are the physical vehicle. So there's a kind of overlay of the physical vehicle of the body and the light body, which increasingly we are inhabiting. When we are ascending, in the process of ascending, that's a religious word, but maybe a science word would be that we're, can you hear outside? I think that's the bin men coming. Ascending, or we are raising our vibration, when we're in a consciousness shift, then we're actually living more in our light body, and we're becoming more comfortable in that garment. I think it's in I think it says it in the Bible, but in the Gnostic scriptures they talk about putting on a new garment of light. And so so the very fact that if you're feeling those tingles means that you are in a vibrational place where you are inhabiting your light body, and that's becoming more habitual for you. And I thought that was just, I just wanted to share that because that came to mind when I was reading it. So here's the picture then, you're dying to see it. I printed it off, found it on the internet myself, and I wanted to keep it safe. Here it is. Advocata, Nostra. There she is. Just bring it closer so you can see that. Isn't she beautiful? I wonder if, when I put that up to the camera, whether you had a reaction to it in a similar way to Janet. Certainly the first thing that I notice when I look at it is that her eyes are very sorrowful. There's a real pathos in her expression. It is different to the very elevated Marian imagery that we sometimes see, especially in Catholicism, where there's a piety and a purity and a venerant, you know, she's venerated, isn't she? As part of the almost part of the Trinity, like a high Christology in Marian theology. But this is a very earthy, real, human woman who has experienced suffering in her life. And there's a wisdom and strength. If you look at those lips, just look at those lips. It's kind of a knowingness that comes from experience and an inner strength. There's almost a secretive, you know, that you can't take my strength away. There's not a defiance, that's too strong a word, but there's a resilience also in her quietness and her dignity. And I'm getting tingles actually as I'm saying this, and even as I'm holding this. So I think that there's something powerful in that image, even when it is reproduced. So I'm going to place it. Isn't it interesting that the colours, look, they're so similar. Beautiful, beautiful colours. Those the autumn colours, the reds, the oranges, the golds, the browns. I'm just going to place it over here while I read you some notes about it. So it was discovered, first of all, actually Advocata Nostra is its name, and Advocata Nostra is our in Latin. Advocata is advocate or lawyer. So it's our lawyer is the name given to this painting, and it's saying that, you know, it seems like a little bit of a strange title, but Mary is is this, in Catholic theology, spouse of the Holy Spirit, the Advocate. But I was thinking it's like judge, like discernment, the wisdom of discernment. And I've even used the word wisdom there already, because there is a connection with Mary and wisdom, which is Sophia. And I'll explain more about that in a moment. But about this particular icon anyway, Paul Bade, B-A-D-D-E, is the art historian and Catholic theologian that discovered it. Here, I'll tell you in his words. The next morning, sun was filtering into the church. From the left of the altar, the singing of some voices were heard through a barred window. Next to it, through another heavy iron grate, is the image of the Madonna that we have been searching for so long. She looks sad in the shadow of the overflowing jewellery with which pilgrims and devotees have surrounded her, with gold, precious stones, rosaries. One moment, I hear a soft voice behind the picture. Wait. So there's actually a voice coming from behind the picture. On the left and right, next to the Madonna, two small little windows unfold. Then the whole frame starts to move and is turned from behind. The generously decorated image was the back, and it was just a copy of the true Advocata. The image itself, on the other hand, is at home on the side of the monastery, which has become a human vault. Now it turns to us without any decoration of jewellery. A small lamp illuminates it from above. The icon is about 60 centimetres wide and 90 centimetres high. Fine cracks run through the warm complexion of the Madonna's skin and the coral red lips, broken by many small areas that have been restored. Only this face has maintained itself in incomparable splendour between all decay and dissolution. Infinitely familiar, like that of a mother's round face, meeting the gaze of her infant as she bends over him for the first time. She does not look sad. Her hands are covered with gold and point to the right, as if to indicate one way. Okay, so what I found fascinating was that the actual picture was behind a grate. Here's the image of those heavy iron bars. See that? Oh, and here's the image before the second door was opened. So you can see that there's just the face peering through. And then look at all the other things around, like the big hand. It looks like it's been made with tin foil or something, doesn't it? Cut out with sheet metal, and clumsy hand with that ring on, and then there's the cross as well, and it's just been decorated with sort of just jewels and things that pilgrims have bought. And that reminds me of all the additions of the church, the embellishments that have come over the years. And when you take all of that away, you actually then get the simplicity. And yes, her hand is still gold, and it's pointing in a direction, pointing the way. It says her eyes don't look sad. I don't know what you think. I think there's sorrow. I think there's suffering. Maybe the suffering because she endured what any mother shouldn't have to endure, which is the loss of a son. That's not the natural order of things. So, I might have been holding it up too near then, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, this reminded me of the Gnostic teaching about Sophia. And now I come on to talking about Sophia, because it sounds as though I'm talking about a woman when I say Sophia, but Sophia is actually the word wisdom. And wisdom, I just wanted to put my glasses on again. I know that I get glare, that's why I keep taking them on and off. Wisdom, when mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible, in Arabic is hikmah. The Semitic root is HKM, and that is hokmah in Hebrew, meaning wisdom. when it's translated, because it's referenced quite a bit in the Old Testament, but in particular in the Proverbs and in Ecclesiastes, and referred to as she.